Hey guys, it's Matt. We generally have our more serious reality discussions on Saturday or Saturday night for some of you, but I had to show you parts of Bill's poster that he's working on. There's a certain part I said, Bill, I don't think we can show, but these are parts. President Trump giving his first State of the Union address in the second term from prison. He's also beefed up, he's working out, pumping weights in the yard. And as your president, I encourage you to. This is the State of the Union. But it's Saturday, and we typically have a more serious reality discussion on Saturday, and we just can't make fun of shit all the time. Matt, why can't we make fun of shit all the time? Here's why. Because do you know the amount of stuff that the Knocknock's going to throw at us between now and the election? It's going to be thousands of things to poke fun at. We just can't do it all the time. There will be plenty of time to make fun of the ridiculousness that's coming, I assure you. So this is Wayne's diagram. The old guard knows it well. And anybody, what did somebody trying to tell me? Matt, didn't we do this? Yeah, we did. Matt, we looked at this. Yeah, but see, if a picture, painting, drawing, illustration, or diagram is the most accurate graphical representation of how this reality works for real spiritual beings, the most accurate representation of how this reality works in the known universe throughout all of human history. See, it's worth then looking at again. There's Seinfeld episodes that run over and over and over just for a few laughs. George Costanza saying, "I'm out of here." There's this is the most important graphical representation of how this reality works that's ever existed. If there was just a YouTube channel that did nothing but look at this graphic every single video, every single day, it would be worth doing. I understand? That's a bold statement, Matt, Mr. Quantum of Conscious, whoever you are. Man, I just got back from Amsterdam. Well, I'll put this shit against that Amsterdam shit any day of the week. It's not a bold statement. Wayne's diagram being the most important understanding of how this reality works can be demonstrated to a real spiritual being in about 5 minutes. Anybody with a degree of inner knowing without their head up their ass will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. And what do you say? Anybody, what's somebody saying? Well, more important than the flower of life, than the Vesica Pisces, than the Aura Borealis? Then what are some of the other ones? Then the Baphomet? Then the... Yeah, way more important than all. That's all horse shit. That's all Longshanks. Well, not really. Flower Life will tell you how this reality is constructed. You know what? It doesn't tell you anything about yourself. That's what's more important. Oh no. I went to find a picture of the Flower of Life and this crazy man popped up again. Terrence Howard, one of the commenters, are like, Matt, you're bullying. Oh, it's possible for little Matt here in his bedroom to bully the Knocknock and one of its main multi-million-dollar minions. Yeah, that you're bullying. Terrence Howard popped up. I forgot he's presenting the Flower of Life to the idiots at Oxford. But I don't understand how he's presenting it. It's on like a laminate piece when there's like a piece of white paper falling off the back. He's not actually using one of those old overhead projectors. That's what we used in second grade. The teacher would like, Matt, go get the overhead projector. The bulbs burn out. The bulbs burn out again at the overhead projector. Go ask Mr. Mike for a new bulb. Our custodian in elementary school, Roberts Elementary School in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Well, it might have been Wayne. It's the conjoining town to King of Prussia. His name was Mr. Mike. He'd bring the new bulbs. You bring those erasers in to be cleaned again? You go, and the fucking dust would flow. Sorry, Matt, get to the damn point. Terrence Howard looks like he's about to put the Flower of Life on an overhead projector. Well, what's the point in that? There is none. As you all know, this is the Flower of Life. And everybody in the truth community basically bows down. Oh, it's so important. And Matt, why are you talking about something so important in the midst of Wayne's little cartoon? You're going to say Wayne's diagram is more important than this, and everybody in the truth community bows down before it? Well, okay, it's nice. Okay, in some way it describes a fake reality, an illusory world. I've stared at it all day once. You know what it told me about myself? Well, you know how it helped me with the way about your self activities? It didn't. Just stare at it all day long. It said, how long am I supposed to stare at this horse shit before it gives me something back? Keep staring. Went to the those retreats up in the mountains, and these gurus are like, first hour you stare at this flower of life. Why? Just stare at it and shut up. Coffee will be served at noon. What does it do for you? Okay. Yeah, I don't really care to understand any more about this construct, this reality. It's here for me. That's all I need to know. I don't need to understand exactly how it works. or what Big Bang or Big Wang it came from, or what part of Mitch Pikachu's presentation is correct. I don't care about any of this. That's blasphemy. You can't talk bad about Flower of Life, right? We're all taught it's so great. What's so great about it? Get this horse shit out of here. Bring Wayne's diagram back. Matt, I don't understand. On your other program where you take on the persona of Joe Rogan and with your Britney Spears dual personality, you're pushing Terrence Howard. You seem to agree with him. You're propping him up as a great man. You put forth many times that his theory about 1+1 doesn't it's not 1+1. I think he could, even Terrence Howard could do that. His 1 times 1 does not equal 1. His 1 times 1 equals a water buffalo. In your other persona, Matt, where you make your $100 million, you seem to like him. In your pauper role in the Britney Spears dual personality, where you wear your frayed sweatshirts, you don't like him. Make up your damn mind. Oh boy, look what I found. If you really want to sound intelligent and whatever you present is eclectic, whatever that means, you just take that Sephiroth or Sephiroth, whatever, you just slap that Sephiroth on top of the Flower of Life and oh, now your shit's important. Matt, you're not going to, this is real blasphemy, Matt, if you go here. This is horse shit. In the past, I've tried to learn how to pronounce it. I've even watched these rabbis give these little videos of Sephiroth. In Philly, you know what? In Philly, it's worth $50. In Philly, we say Sephiroth. Matt, you're making a big mistake here. You have to know how to navigate these 10 or 11 balls or whatever. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's right. The 11th one's always missing. That Doth or whatever the heck that is. That one's missing. You're really smart if you can talk about Doth being missing. Oh, you know what? Why do I need this? Tell me. Oh, Matt, it'll move you closer to God. I'm not trying to move closer to God in this body. This is a place to move away from the divine, to be low, to experience the low. Have we ever talked about that before? Embrace the low here. That's why we're here. I'm not here to navigate some little balls of maps and balls and maps and bounce your ball, boop. You leave the important decisions to us, Not Milk says. You go out, you watch your NFL, you bounce your ball, you watch your NBA, bounce your ball, put your ball in your hoop. Not Milk says, leave the important decisions to us. You just put your NBC Sports channel on. The Phillies, I think, are playing 140 games this year, and you're supposed to watch every single one of them. Okay, why do I need this map? Maybe a certain type of entity here needs it. I don't need it. I don't think our type needs a little map of balls and bounce your ball. I don't want to be close. I'm not trying to be closer to God in this body. That's not the point of existence. We might have known all about that stuff before we came here. To me, there used to be a Where's Waldo map on the back of Life cereal that I would set up when I was eating my cereal going into elementary school. To me, the Where's Waldo map on the back of the box was more important than this. I don't resonate with this at all. It doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe there's an entity here that needs it. I don't. Well, then certainly something like this, Matt, the Ouroboros, is more important than Wayne's little cartoon, whoever that delinquent is, Wayne, that you work with. Nope. I'm tired of our community bowing down to certain symbols or things that's so important when they're actually horseshit. Okay, there's some meaning to this, and we can talk about what it means, and you know what? Let's stare at it for 4 hours. Let me go quiet. You stare at it for, okay, we'll speed up time, and the 4 hours will be 4 seconds. Okay, 4 hours. What did it do for you? What did it tell you about yourself? What did it tell you about what you need to do in the little time you have left in your life? What does it tell you about the reason you're here in this incarnation? I'm sorry. These things we all bow down to don't deliver. And actually, as I was looking for an image of it, of course, there's people that have it tattooed all over their body. I mean, we don't fully understand it, and we dive into this reality horseshit for 15 years, and we don't truly understand it. How about all the dummies that put these symbols, they tattoo them? They don't have a darn clue what the hell they're doing. They might as well tattoo a big image of Oprah on their damn shoulder. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this esoteric/occult horseshit. I just am. If you want to say something to us, say something to us. But don't put it in a form like this. Solve. Matt, don't you know it's the as above, so below? No, I never heard that. Don't you know what the solve and the coagulant is? No, never discussed that about it. That's all new to me. Just if you got something to say, Levi, or he painted it. Who knows what kind of strange thing molded this together with clay initially as trying to create some sort of golem with wings or something. If you got something to say to people, just say it. Why does it always have to be some mysterious, weird? I'm tired of this stuff. So let's go. Wayne's is also let's say a graphical presentation, but the message is crystal clear. Not some weird horse shit like the Ouroboros. Get this stuff out of here. We're tired of it. Focusing in on a few segments of Wayne's drawing, I have no idea how anybody could do this. This is just one little segment. There is the death rate is going up. There's charts and graphs, the lines. I have no idea how this is possible. The amount of pencil lines, the things you can focus in on. Well, I assure you, guess what? The AI wouldn't be able to do this. There's a few things that the AI can't do. The AI can make the beautiful Swedish woman and the Ricola on top of the beautiful mountain. The hills are alive with the sound of Griswolds. They can make that look hyper realistic, but I assure you it can't do anything like this. No way. Matt, don't you feel you need to read books like this to better understand the Baphomet and the various occult and esoteric symbolism of this world? No, you know how I'm starting to classify it? Uh-oh, another segmented distraction. Yeah. You're not interested? No. If there was a toy I saw at a store where it was Baphomet dress-up game, I would be probably interested in that, or at least more interested than trying to read various interpretations to understand it. You heard me. A Baphomet dress-up game. Dress them in red pants, green pants, put on different style suits and top coats, make them a 44 regular or a 44 long or a 46 fat, whatever you want to do. Put different various ties on them, but it is androgynous, so you can put dresses and kilts as well. The Baphomet dress-up game excites me. Everything else does not. So this ain't no symbolism. You have you in the middle of like a pen. Okay, the heart center reality bubble, one could say. That you, a tiny little speck, is you. Everything around us, all of society, culture, every bit of history, every story, every interaction with an NPC at the grocery store, all of this created for me? No, can't be. I've seen many of Mitch Pikachu's presentations. I've seen all those TED Talks. They're very convincing about the origins of the universe and the Big Bang. See, apply the rule of opposites. Rule of opposites, axiom of opposites. Never been violated, never been broken. If society's telling you this, trying to make it complicated, you just do the opposite. What they're saying couldn't possibly be correct. It's never been broken. It's never been violated. If Stephen tells you about the origins of the universe, and he said, "Let me tell you a little bit, in the beginning there was a big bang," then you know it's the opposite of that. Everything is here for you, and you were meant to be here at this exact moment in time. I'm not just saying that to make myself feel good. It's obvious at this point. But it's so screwed up, Matt. Everything around us is breaking down. If it was for me, I wouldn't want this. Yeah, you would. If it was a beautiful beach, and I'm not going to say anything about the lube, but I just put that image in your head because I mentioned it. If that's what it was, you wouldn't get anything out of it. It has to be hardcore pipe hitting. It has to be a bad guy in the story. All of it has to be the way it is. It doesn't know its true role, in my opinion. It will sometimes overreach, maybe cause more harm than maybe it should. Maybe it's in contractual violation. But in general, the role players, the bad elements, need to exist here. If they were completely on a script, maybe that wouldn't be believable. Maybe they have to be given some latitude. Maybe from time to time they have to break the rules. Maybe from time to time the simulation has to be reset. So be it. It's pretty simple. It has to be pretty effed up like this image portrays. It has to be complicated. It has to seem difficult because it's the rule of opposites. We need to take comparative religion classes for years and years and years, and then maybe we'll get a sense as to what's going on. No, if you just cut right through it and try to get in touch with who you are, who you potentially were before you existed, what you're doing here, what the spiritual whole of you needs out of this experience, who's trying to block you, what's trying to block you, and why, how is it trying to block you. Once you see the trick and that it's trying to block you, it's all up to you to overcome it and do what you need to do in the little time we have left here. The Worry About Yourself Part 2, the work. You know how many people fall for the distraction over, say, how many ever millions of years or hundreds of years we've existed, or beings like us have existed? You know how many people have fallen for the trick? Like a 99.99. Now that's a 666, Matthew. How else? It's common to say 99.9. Sorry. Okay. Well, how else am I supposed to? Am I supposed to do 99.888889? Almost everybody that has ever existed, in my opinion, the vast majority, has fallen for this reality trick. Just a tiny little group has the chance to overcome it. And overcoming it, as we're seeing through it now, isn't good enough. That's only step one. And so, wait a second. This thing's trying to keep me from something. This thing here, whatever it is, that we'll never be able to point to in a police lineup, is trying to block me from something. That something is not the same for you than it is for me. Get in touch with it. This is the message never delivered in the truth community. That's just another layer of distraction. Our own community is, of course. When you have this sort of discussion, things like investigating mud flood and Tartaria and why are all the Roman baths buried in the ground become ridiculous. We have a little bit of time left before we go see Violet and the others. We have to get it done now for a spiritual whole. That is kind of serious. That is not a joking matter. There is some sort of consequence for not getting it done. No consequences, people. Doesn't mean we're going to doom our soul into Ravenclaw's lost item. But if we don't do what the spiritual whole of us needs to do here, then there, by definition, is a consequence. If we'll do it one more time. If I stop talking for a few seconds, there's a consequence by definition. Some people thought, what was that? Or somebody was cleaning a toilet like Jupiter Jones, wasn't really paying attention. Did it just go off air? Or did I lose my Wi-Fi? Or what? There's a consequence for everything. The nature of this whole place, the duality, the yin and yang. By definition, the no consequences people have to amend their basic definitions and descriptors. And I do agree at the most important level with them that we can't doom our souls. We can't. I used to say, maybe if you do the wrong things, you'll actually go into the Pope's abyss if you make those bad choices. No, I'm much more with the no consequences people here. We could make some really bad, effed up choices, and we're not going to go spiritually into the Pope's abyss. But if we do stupid things here, and let's just get out there and campaign for Biden. Let's get out there and campaign for Trump, and we just do all the stupid things, and then, I can't wait for the Oscars. I can't wait for the Golden Fowls to be awarded. I can't wait for the Dick of Osiris to be given out this year. We just bow down to that sort of stuff. By definition, there's a consequence. Part 2 of this diagram, you see how complicated everything is? In the Matrix 4, the new representation of Agent Smith looks out the window and he says, look at that complexity. Look at all the people on the street and the cars everywhere, like looking down on New York City from the 100th floor. Like, that can't be natural or something. That has to be a matrix of some kind. I forget how he says it, but there's truth in that. Look at the complexity of this diagram. Now, I appreciate the first grade truther, because unlike most people, they notice there's something very wrong in this world. There's a darkness or an evil, or however you classify the bad guy. I appreciate the first grade truther in terms of noticing these things. But the not milk knows that certain types will notice it, and then it hands out its yellow breadcrumbs. Investigate this bad guy. Look at this. And most people get stuck. And somehow it's all coordinated, you know what I'm going to say, by the secret societies in Tavistock. Look at the complexity of this diagram. And honestly, as complex as this is, it really represents maybe 1/1,000,000th of the complexity of this world and how everything would need to be pulled off. Impossible. You have a type of entity, the minion type, whatever they may be, that is here to fulfill the not milk's role, to block our spiritual journey. It has to be a frequency. It has to be a download. course, once you get 3 or 4 conspiracies we've looked into, that couldn't, even one big event, one big mall event couldn't be coordinated properly, and now we have thousands. So it's a download or a frequency, a being that has made a choice maybe before they were, quote, born out of the dragon to serve it. It doesn't, it knows its role to a degree, in my opinion. The ones on television that run around like Melvin, I mean, the Bezos, they don't understand much of anything. If you see them on TV, in my opinion, I haven't been to the Eyes Wide Shut party. Maybe the ones in the shadows understand more, but none of them, in my opinion, see the big picture. I don't think the bad guy was sitting at the table when the reality or the plans for the reality was being constructed. Of course, we have no idea how that happened. I don't think two godlike beings or your God and then your God over here got together at a table over coffee and rolled out some blueprints of, but however it happened, I don't think they brought in the bad guy. Whatever frequency Melvin, quote, bows down to, or whatever we call not milk, they was, hey, bad guys, maybe whoever constructed this reality, hey, bad guys, whatever this not milk would be, this tiny little being compared to whoever constructed this reality. Hey, bad guys, do you want to go in here? We're going to put you in here, and you're going to have, can we have magenta speedboats? You can have magenta speedboats. You can control skyscrapers and Trump Tower, and you can put yourselves in power. We can be governor and president. You can be governor and president, even after you've been an assistant ski instructor. We can do all that. Oh, yeah, what about carnal pleasures? I heard about those. You're going to get all of them. And then some. You're going to get as much. You can eat a donut and have your carnal pleasure at the same time. We get all that, and this is a job for us. It's a job. You're not going to really understand the big picture as to why you're doing. There's going to be another group here that your job is to screw over. This is a dream job. They're saying our job is to screw them over, and we can what? Extract energy? Oh my goodness. Of course it's the dream job to these assholes. Do they see the big picture of what you are spiritually? Think about it. Think about it, man. In falling down, you and me, man, we're the same. Think about it. Think about it. Do you think those Melvin and Bezos or whatever the not know, you think it understands the big picture as to what you are, where you spiritually, where you came from? I mean, these types of conversations make atheism look as absurd as trying to stick a donut up your nose. Wawa still has the donut section, but they put everything in plastic. After C to V me, they sneeze. They put up all the donuts in plastic. They used to just be, you could just open the door and get it glazed. Oh, now you open the door, put your hazmat suit on. Everything's like in double wrapped plastic. It's pretty good. You can bring the glazed donut home and you don't have to eat it for 10 or 20 years. It's like a Twinkie now. It'll stay good forever. But it's the atheism. I mean, maybe atheism is correct. We've talked about this before. This is fascinating to me. Maybe it is correct for them. For the atheists that believe they're not going anywhere, there's no other ride at Disneyland, that it's right for them. Don't put it on us. And they would say back to us, of course, oh, isn't that convenient? You idiots, making yourself feel good. Oh, that atheism, we go into dust, but you are spiritual beings and going on. Oh, if you need to do that, you delusional people like Matt and you need to delude yourself that you're just going to go on and this is just a train stop. And look, nobody, I'm not saying it. You can feel it in every single fiber in your being. I don't like those stupid tree hugger terms, but there's no other way to talk about it. Of course, there's no fear of death. It's so obvious. We're not just saying this stuff to make ourselves feel good. Atheism may exist for the atheist. And there's the double whammy of what Tony talked about, that even if they're not atheists, a real spiritual being manifests on itself what it expects. So as a real spiritual being that expects atheism, many have been fooled into this. Do they get that? Maybe. Well, it doesn't matter to us. Not too many atheists here, I assure you. So let's go back to the basics for a few minutes, walk through some simple exercises. Just if your inner knowing doesn't already scream all this stuff out, maybe with a little bit of tweaking, it will in just a few minutes if I can help you. And there are 3rd and 4th, 5th grade truthers here that need a little bit more help than the old guard. So we have the rule of opposites, of course. If society in general and its experts are presenting a topic that's extremely important, Does it work typically like they say? Or when you investigate it, is it kind of close to the opposite? Yeah, it's the opposite. That's number one. So this reality presents, what does it tell you in terms of the rule of opposites about yourself? Oh, you came from nothing. you came from the explosion in space, and then your relatives were marmots. And your relative, you gonna do it again, Monkey Man? Yeah, it's funny every time. Your relatives were Monkey Man, and you did. And then once human beings, like Stephen talked about in that famous Pink Floyd song, says the reason intelligence sprung up in the human being was because we learned, it's called Keep Talking, I think, Pink Floyd. And then man learned to talk. And then we learned to talk, and that was a catalyst for our intelligence. But before that, it was like, pass the ketchup, Coke, please, extra crispy. It 2001. Not milk villains like Stanley Kubrick. I don't go, oh, that's a blasphemous to so many truthers bow down to Kubrick. And you know what he did through the first 15 or 20 minutes of 2001: A Space Odyssey? He shored up Darwin more than that freak, that fool idiot has been shored up in his idiotic theories. He supported Darwin better than anybody, better than anybody had for 100 years. Stanley Kubrick, for what you did in support of Darwin in the beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey, thou art a villain. Was that blasphemy the truth? Or they bow down to Stanley Kubrick too? That was the greatest. You know how many people walked out of the theater and said, "I wasn't convinced before, but now I know I was Monkey Man." So okay, they tell you what does it tell you? You were small. You came from an amoeba. You poor devils. You came from bacteria. Rule of opposites. You know what that means? It means, number one, at the first level, you didn't come from that. Number two is you're not small at all. If reality is trying to make you learn hopelessness, powerlessness, helplessness, demoralization, all of that, that means it's the opposite, and you're the opposite of that, and you're much, much bigger than this place, and nobody's saying that to make anybody feel good. Thanks for listening.